Hello everyone. Let's get back to week number 8 topic. Producers and consumer, and we learn about the efficiency in the market, consumer surplus, producer surplus, dead weight loss. All right, once again, this is just revision, so it's not that you're going to have all the information here. You need to have attended the lecture, right? Just to so this is just for you to revise and enforce and get you whatever you forgot. It was before the midterm, or perhaps close to midterm, so it might be a bit too much for you to. So this will just bring that memory back. It's not a complete introduction, okay? Right. So what are we going to have a look? Well, what we're talking about is welfare economics here. By welfare economics, what we mean is that if there is a demand for a particular product in the market, let's say there is a demand for electric cars, then the labor will be allocated towards that particular industry for the production of electric cars, right? So that's what I mean, allocation of resources. Now, labor is one of the resources. Just like that, you have land, labor, capital. If we take in the labor, according to free market, if people are demanding more electric cars, more people should be employed in the market of electric cars, and hence the allocation happens, which is good according to free market principle. On the other hand, if there's government interference and government other plans and want people to work somewhere else, that's not the optimum allocation of resources as far as welfare economics is concerned. Okay? Consumer surplus is simple idea. It's the difference between what you're willing to pay. Suppose you want to pay 1,000 dirhams for something, but you go in the market and buy for 800, 200 is a surplus. Basically, that's what it is. And this is a fancy way of representing your willingness to pay here. So you got Alicia is willing to pay 49 for a particular book, and Edwina is willing to pay 10, right? So if there's a price of 30, Alicia will be most happy, right? Because 59 minus 30 is how much the surplus they have. Similarly, Brad. So you don't need to worry too much about the graph. Just understand they're representing the willingness to pay. So price is 30. Alicia get the most surplus. 59 minus 30, that is 29. Happy person. Brad get 45 minus 30 because the willingness to pay was 45. And Darren and Edwina will not have any surplus because they're not trading the market. Well, in that case, if we have look at the old demand curve, remember this is the demand curve. If you join this, you get a demand curve. So in that case, if took of another market, price of the computer in the market of computer 1,500, right? There is different consumers here or customers here, right? And all of them. The person here will have the highest surplus, right? Because they got this much distance, and person here will have perhaps the lowest surplus. So basically, you can say in consumer surplus for the market, the area underneath the demand curve, but above the price is what we call your consumer surplus. And then you have here your price drops. Price drop to 20. If the price drop to 20, that means this much surplus extra. So Darren will now have surplus as well, right? So price dropping is good for the consumers because their surplus increases. This is just a way of saying that how much increase in the surplus is when the price drop. Okay, I don't need to quite understand this graph, but it's just showing that area wise, right? And now we come into what we call a producer surplus. Now, producer doesn't have willingness to pay or anything like that, but they have a cost. So basically, how much is their cost plus how much they get for their good. So Andrew's cost is very low, so they are most likely to make the most producer surplus. Engelbrecht is the highest, so most likely to make the lowest producer surplus. So here the price is 30. Andrew is happy, so 30 minus 5 is 25. Betty will have 30 minus 15, that will be 15. Donna Engelbert wouldn't have any surplus at all, any producer surplus at all, because they're not trading in the market. Okay. And here you have a look here. You have your producer surplus, that is the area above the supply line, but underneath the price. Okay. So similarly, when the price goes up, they get more. So remember, producer surplus, when the price goes up, the distance between their cost and the price increases, so they're very happy, they get more producer surplus. On the other hand, consumer surplus reduces. Okay, they're not happy. For producer surplus to increase, the price needs to go up. For consumer surplus to increase, the price needs to come down. So see, there are two opposing, right? And the best way to actually get that is the free market. So if you got the free market, any area under the demand curve up to the price is consumer surplus, and any area above the supply curve unto the equilibrium price is the producer surplus. Okay, so total surplus is added them together. Basically what they're saying, what we're trying to say here is that this is free market, no government interference, then the producer and consumer surplus is maximized. That's the best way to go about. Now what happened when the government interfere, right? This is what we need to have a look at here. When the government interferes, you will notice that there is going to be some deadweight loss. See, B and C is a deadweight loss. We'll get back to that, but let's just carry on. I just want to say when the government interferes, something happens, okay? So, well, the free market basic economic principles say that it's good when there's no government interference, there's no deadweight loss or anything like that. Consumer producer surplus are maximized. Anything else government tries to do, there will be a deadweight loss. That means there will be a reduction in either the consumer surplus or producer surplus or both sometimes. Okay. Well, we don't like government to interfere. Doesn't mean the government doesn't have a role. They said there's two important role government has, or Adam Smith said property rights means that there is still very strong legal framework or legal remedy. So if I buy something from you, you need to deliver me the product on time, of appropriate quality, and I need to pay you money. If not, you can go to the court. If there is no court, there is no legal rights or anything like that, then nobody's going to trade and free market fail. Similarly, economic signal, that means the price signal, right? That means if something, you need to know what price are somebody selling. If either you don't know the price or the price is being given to you is wrong, then free market fails. Okay, so these two things are very important, they say. So government has these two very important things to take care of, but they shouldn't interfere in the free market. Well, Adam Smith said that, you know, people try to make goods and services they may and sell in the market not because they love you or they like you, it's just because they love themselves, they want to make profit. So everybody's better off when they make profit. So have a look at this deadweight loss here. We're going to have a look at this one here, tax, right? At the moment, everybody's happy. The producer surplus will be this area there, and consumer surplus will be this area there. No problem. When the tax comes in, right, what happens? This is a tax, right? So this area here, government takes it away. That's their tax revenue. So consumer surplus is reduced now. So this area here, and producer surplus this area here. So this area is gone. And also the reduction, right? Remember when the tax come in, things is expensive. Either producers are not going to produce or the consumers are not going to buy. So what's going to happen here is this area is reduced. So this area is not produced. This quantity is lost. So this two triangle number 1, triangle number 2, is actually added together is the deadweight loss. You understand that? So that's what happens. So here, have a look. Buyers lose an A and B because now that becomes government revenue. They lose. Producers actually lose D and C. D becomes the government tax revenue. C becomes deadweight loss. The new surplus is only that one for producers. And if we extend this triangle here, somewhere that is consumer. Okay? Right. So this is the same thing here. So you will notice this is the tax. This is the deadweight loss here. B and C. A and D is the tax revenue, and the government gets the revenue of A and D, right? So it's just the area of this rectangle. So you take this area, so that distance between 0.5 and multiply with that distance, this is 89, and you will get 44.5 billion, right? That's your government's revenue and the surplus. Now I want to go back to the minimum wage here, okay? So remember, government can interfere in 3 ways: price flooring, price ceiling, and also what we call is taxes, which we have a look. So this is the example of price flooring, right? So at the moment, this demand relate to the employers. So this area here is the employer surplus, and supply is provided by the labor. So this is the labor surplus. Okay, keep in mind, don't get confused about this. So this was the equilibrium that the government put a price flooring. So what happened? So this area, all of these area, remember this is a deadweight loss. So this here, that area here becomes your labor surplus, and the employee surplus is reduced here to that area there, right? So you will notice there is a deadweight loss of this area because this much labor used to demand, but now only this much labor is demand, right? L1. So that's a loss. And the total area is the unemployment. But don't think about total area is not the deadweight loss. Deadweight loss, what it used to be and how much is reduced. That distance there, that's the deadweight loss. Right, so B and C is the deadweight loss. And gain to the employees is A, and deadweight loss B by C, right? Sorry, gains to the workers. So yeah, workers did increase their surplus, but we don't really know. They also lost this B here, so we can't really say whether gain. It really depends on how much is deadweight loss. But the idea is definitely your employees are actually lost. Their surplus is reduced now. Okay, so that's about it. That's the most important thing here is we learned about that, and what we're trying to say is yes, Government, when they interfere by price flooring, price ceiling, and tax, there is some deadweight loss. Sometimes some party might gain, but most of the time both will lose. That means both of their surplus is reduced. So the best thing is, according to this economic theory, just leave the private enterprise. Now, just leave it to the private enterprise, free market, invisible hand, everything. Now, yes, government does have a role to increase the fairness. Now, you can increase the efficiency by leaving it to the free market, but then there's a loss of fairness. The government does have a role, but according to what we learned is that there will always be deadweight loss. Okay, good luck.